funny to look back on the journey that Marvel has taken in 2025. You remember they kicked off the year with Captain Black Falcon America, man, and well, the less said about that, the better. But then when the Thunderbolts came around, the capstone to Phase 5, that was obviously the plan from the beginning. That was supposed to be the first and best example of Marvel's new strategy of quality over quantity. I guess they were probably referring to the box office, the $320 million. They were really quality. We're not so much concerned with making $500, $600, $700 million anymore. Hell, and $1 billion is very much in the rearview mirror at this point in time. Unless, of course, you're dragging up people that are, practically, aged into a role for this animated show we're going to be talking about here very shortly. Or your Spider-Man, who's not going to be appearing in this feature, but since that grandiose statement was once again reiterated, it's not exactly a new talking point. We've been over this a time and time again. But Marvel would go on to release Ironheart, the Fantastic Four, First Steps, and then August 1st, they had another animated fair come out, and Eyes of Wakanda, and just before this, I was taking a look, because, after that show released, nobody talked about it, but, on IMDb, it's got, a 5.3, and don't even know if it's certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, so all of those racist reviewers, oh my god, what a terrible outcome, but yes, in a few short weeks, September 24th, Marvel is going to be putting out their 6th piece of content this year. Remember, guys, quality over quantity in the form of Marvel Zombies. And guys, oh god, this is one of, well, I don't really want to poison the well all that much, it's not really something that's up my alley, even when this comic book run came out, even though, at the time when it did, it came out right at the peak of the zombie craze when Walking Dead wasn't a meme and was actually something people were looking forward to. I think 28 Days Later had just, for lack of a better term, breathed life into the genre, the predominant one that presaged superhero phenomenon, but now we've come full circle, and now we have a Marvel Zombies animated mini-series, a 4-part mini-series that, yes, is going to be debuting September 24th on D+, and it's going to be TVMA, because, well, the source material does beg for it, but also, the last time that they had any sort of commercial success, yeah, it was mature content, so they're going back to the well one more time. But before we get into any of the specifics, I do believe it's fair to watch at least some of the trailer. Now, shout out to Disney, and this is unironic, for not copyright striking anybody doing trailer reactions or breakdowns. So yeah, we can actually watch this one, even though I don't really consider it a blessing in this case. Oh, see, they got the blood and the gore off rip. Oh my gosh, so great. Oh, this is for serious people. Because there's a bullet in the headshot and blood splatter. See, that's for mature people. Oh my god.
Let's go!
There we go. Oh yeah, there we go. I seen somebody else, I think it was Mahler or Gary Nerdrotic, somebody pointed this out. It's like they stole the hard home shot episode of Game of Thrones, the one good interaction with the White Walkers in a big battle sense. I think Good's even pushing it, but still. Where you had the Night King standing on the dock as everybody's fleeing hard home. They copied it. It's a good shot, but why do you have zombie Wakandan women? I'm not too sure about that, but okay. Oh my god, it's zombie Captain America.
All the Avengers are dead.
And of course you got fucking Yelena over the top of this. Just like, bro, what are we doing out here? I might as well put the closed captions on, because I would rather read what that astroturfed leader of the new Avengers has to say, as opposed to listening what she has to say. Their fake deadpan Russian accent. See, it's so funny because I can do, one socially acceptable cultural accent I won't get cancelled for. Or if you're a big fat black comedian, you can go ahead and just unironically do whiteface, which I don't have a problem with. I just find it, very interesting how Drewski's not getting any pushback for his recent skit, but I digress.
And they're coming for us.
Oh, Christ.
Alright, we got a world to save.
And once again, the animation looks so fucking garbage, bro, because, okay, cool. The cast in this is just, it's atrocious. It's really fucking bad, but it's also letting you know who they're trying to big up ahead of Doomsday. But also, who they can rope in because they have literally nothing else going on.
Safe. Need more.
Okay.
Shit.
Oh, that's Scooterman. Oh, yay. Oh my god! Well, we'll get around to that here in a second, okay? Dude, this looks so fucking unappealing. Holy shit. Like I said this before, right? So, shout out to Random Film Talk for his recent breakdown of Spartacus Blood and Sand. I've watched his video a number of times, like 3 or 4 times. It's like a 7.5 hour long video. 1.5 and 2 times speed are in fact a godsend. But it also got me to, you know, actually watch the show as well. So yeah, you know, I'm not exactly unaccustomed to seeing copious amounts of blood, animated or CG, whatever, and however you want to categorize this. It's just, these slop fights are just, there's a reason nobody watches this animated shit. Because it's just, it's all that. The animation looks, I was gonna say passable, but it just looks like second-year art school shit. This is not at all impressive. Okay.
Whoa. That's how you do that then.
Oh, fuck right off. Marvel's on. Okay, I can't go through the rest of it. It's just, you know, the little stinger at the end. Yeah, streaming September 24th. I don't really know how it's gonna end up breaking down. Don't really care either. But a slew of MCU stars are reprising their roles with Elizabeth Olsen. I guess is that kind of big news right there, because that's Scarlet Witch coming back for the first time since she, you know, buried herself in a bunch of rocks. Multiverse of Madness, Paul Rudd, okay, you know, he recently did the big shout out at D23, so that makes sense. And Florence Pugh, they're trying to still make fucking Yelena a thing. David Harbour, who has absolutely a no self-respect. Tessa Thompson, yeah, who can't get any work anywhere else. Simu Liu, yeah, that was the first one that you seen there. You know, the generic looking Asian guy that was there. Yeah, you know, we got Shang-Chi coming back, fantastic. And then Marvel's Katie with Aquafina. Oh, everybody was gagging for that return. Haley Steinfeld, Kate Bishop, Wyatt Russell, U.S. agent, Randall Park. I had to look this up. He was one of Ant-Man's friends in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Okay, Aman Vellani, yeah, Ms. Marvel. Of course she's there. And then of course Ironheart. I don't think we've seen her in the trailer at all, but what was all that stuff earlier this year where they just wanted to, you know, dump Ironheart out? You know, they were so disgraced, they were so embarrassed by this, they just wanted to, you know, throw it away and get over with it as quickly as possible. But then they bring her back to do this animated show, which is going to be probably the most high-profile thing between now and Doomsday, because, okay, I've seen some shill accounts come out right now and say, hey guys, it's 3 months until Wonder Man comes out. Who the fuck cares? I wouldn't be surprised if this doesn't do, just for the sheer fact that it's like, okay, a bunch of stupid, you know, slop battles or something like that. No, a fair number of recognizable faces that are going to be there. This probably will do better than that who gives a shit Booster Gold, a knockoff show. Okay, yeah, all the voice cast, yes, all part of the voice cast for Marvel Zombies, whose premiere has been timed out to Halloween. So yes, it's going to be 4 consecutive weeks with its, you know, finale coinciding with the week of Halloween. So actually, given the fact that Agatha was running this time last year, I bet you forgot about that as well. At least they, you know, did something intelligent and timed out the spooky show, or at least the spooky themed show, with Halloween. But the one guy who looked like the biggest ass kicker that was there, who, outside of, you know, having his trademark weapons, you wouldn't really know who he is specifically, but that was supposed to be Blade. And this is quite interesting, okay, because it's the Blade Knight variation, whatever, man, I don't really care. At least he was kicking ass this time around. And I thought, wasn't it Kevin Feige who said we didn't just want to have, like, we didn't just want to do a Blade movie where he's just, you know, mindlessly, you know, just chopping up vampires, you know, we wanted to have something more substantive for him. But hey, now look, he's back. But he's also, okay, and this is going to be not the first, not the second, but the third person, okay, playing the role of Blade in the MCU. Obviously, Wesley Snipes last year with Deadpool and Wolverine. A couple years back, Actually, a few years back at this point in time, with the end credits scene for Shang-Chi of all things, you had Mahershala Ali as Blade, who was supposed to be Blade moving forward. But then you got Todd Williams voicing Blade Knight for the third interpretation of MCU Blade. Mahershala Ali is reportedly not voicing Blade in Marvel Zombies. Todd Williams will take on the role. He previously replaced Ali and as the voice of Titan in Invincible. Okay. He's just kind of the go-to guy for somebody who gets really excited about working on a project and then just decides to, just leave it in the lurch. But this is interesting, right? Because you have a fairly big name cast attached to this project, right? Like Paul Rudd, Elizabeth Olsen, and a whole bunch of other, Phase 4 and 5 slop. But this is not exactly a small-time project. Normally these animated fairs, well, they kind of are. I mean, does anybody remember anything about the 3 seasons of What If that was out there? Most people noped out after either the Captain Carter episode, who became a recurring character from what I hear, or when they were, just continuing to try to suck off Black Panther by saying, oh, the entire world would be so much more peaceful if he ended up becoming Star-Lord. Thanos would have, reconsidered his aggressive approach just because Black Panther is just such a fucking swell guy. But you're telling me you couldn't come to an agreement with Mahershala in order for him to just have this soft entry into the MCU ahead of your Blade project that you're still 100% on board with? I find that more interesting than anything regarding this series, which is, for the next 4 weeks, well, after, it debuts on the 24th, for 4 weeks, people might talk about it for the first episode, just comment on how shit the animation looks and how wooden some of the voice acting is, and then just forget about it by the time that it all wraps up, and this will be done and dusted. But this was the opportunity to really establish a proper Blade, but once again, you fumbled the bag. You did exactly what you said you didn't want to do with the character, but then you didn't even bring in the actor that you want to play the character. So what's the future for Blade? Well, probably the future for Marvel Zombies fucking dead man walking. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.